Robbie.
Well, I learned that from you, though.
I'm going to try to stand here so they can hear me out here. Of course, my name is Beverly Johnson, and I reside at 474 Tranquil Bay Circle. According to the general statutes of North Carolina, GS 160A-59, and I quote a portion of that, when a council member ceases to reside in an electoral district that he was elected to represent, the office is, if so facto, vacant. Copies, and I've got those copies of that statute in my speech, I will give to the town clerk. Commissioner Bradley has ceased to reside within the city limits of Norwood, as evidenced by the fact that his wife's address has been changed on her voter registration to 49437 Quail Trail Road some time ago. Therefore, his position became vacant the moment that their move occurred. Based on this, I challenge any motions Mr. Bradley made, seconded, or voted on since the date he moved out of the city limits of Norwood. And each of these motions should be considered null and void. Mr. Bradley should inform the board of the date that he moved, and hopefully this will prevent legal actions that will not be necessary against him or this board. In addition, Linda Campbell, the Mayor Pro Tem, being the Mayor Pro Tem, should be censured by this board since she lived next door to Mr. Bradley prior to his move and should have reported this action instead of helping to cover it up. I have heard some members of this board stress the need for transparency numerous times, but I will say not until tonight have I seen you demonstrate it. One example of your lack of transparency has been your refusal to explain your reasons for recent plans to change fire protection in Norwood, and your refusal to address concerns or answer questions from individuals or the Norwood Fire Department personnel concerning this matter. It is my hope that in the future you will take into consideration that you as a board represent the citizens of Norwood and not your personal agendas or outside entities. A complaint will be filed with the Stanley County Board of Elections, the North Carolina Board of Elections, and the Public Corruptions Division of the FBI. And thank you.
Mr. Bradley, would you like to respond?
Yeah, I do. I've owned property on Quail Trail, and I own property on 467 Island Cove Road. That's what I'm going to tell you. I live in both places. I pay taxes in the town, and my Island Cove Road. I guess that's all I have to say.
I would like for in his board comments for Mr. Bradley to confirm to everyone if he does and so live with his wife still, and if he continues to reside in Norwood or if he resides in Quail Trail Road. Because, as the statute states, it's not where you pay your taxes, it's where you reside, what electoral district you reside in. And to my knowledge that you no longer reside in the town of Norwood, and I believe all of these people, the good citizens of Norwood, deserve an answer to know why you've not told anyone where you live, why you've not moved, why you've not told people that you have vacated this seat. And I would like for this board to move at the next meeting to appoint someone to fill the position and rescind all votes to accept any resignations by the fire department or the mayor. As far as I'm concerned, this great lady right here still belongs to be sitting in that seat right there.
Good, I got this thing right here. It's where you cast your vote, and still got my voting eligibility at 467 Island Cove Road. I get my mail there. That's not hasn't changed for me. She stayed my wife. Now my wife is not on the board. Okay.
Where do you sleep at night?
Oh, I'm not even concerned about your wife. It says, council members shall reside in the district they represent.
Where does he sleep at night?
Okay.
So,
he
I mean,
sleeping?
where are you living?
I reside at 467. That's my mail. That's where I get my mail.
Doesn't matter where you get your mail. I can get a
That's on
post
my
office
driver's
box in
license.
Albemarle and get my mail in Albemarle. That doesn't make sense.
Where do you sleep at
Where
night?
do you go to bed at night? And why are you
I think it's
refusing? I mean, if it's
personal.
not a big deal, why are you refusing to answer the question?
I think Mr. Bradley he is in a transition of a move, like he said, he's had this house for a while. And he has, I mean, I think.
Linda, I
at this
didn't ask
point-
you, I'm not being rude, but I just wanna know why he won't answer. We don't need you to answer for him. I hope all the town people will pay attention next time they go to vote.
I was in Raleigh when you and Mr. Mullis was in Raleigh. I got there and I seen time the meeting started that you and Mr. Mullis and our representative Justin Burr had done a done deal in Raleigh to stop that. That was the most corrupt politics I've ever seen. And you said there were only 3 houses in Edgewater. You misrepresented it, said it was a little rinky-dinky some development, and it's on record. If you don't believe me, read the minutes. It's on record. That's the rinky-dinky outfit there in Edgewater. That's what you said. Well, you can shake your head if you want to, Mr. Mullis, but that's what was
Ricky
said.
Dink, and I don't recall seeing the minutes
Well,
that said that.
I do. Why don't you get the minutes and read it? That's
The
all.
minutes I have it in there. I have the LGC minutes that were emailed from the town.
Yeah. And both of you lied about it.
In our last 2 local elections, the voters of Norwood had confidence in you and entrusted in you the opportunity to represent, promote, and grow our town along with serving its citizens. Since Monday night, April 18th, 2016, an overwhelming number of citizens who have spoken to me do not feel you are living up to that confidence and trust they place in you. They are feeling that you are possibly listening to a small group, or even worse, pushing your own private agendas. I had the opportunity and privilege to serve as a commissioner for many years with a lot of different people. Over that time, we were able to accomplish several projects for the improvement of our town, along with the quality of service and opportunity for our citizens. A few of those were the development of the Food Line location, the facility where Michelin is now located, the construction of the water plant that now serves our town, relocating the police department to their present facility, paving the town-owned parking lot for the use of people visiting our uptown businesses and for special events the town may sponsor. These are the type endeavors which I believe you as elected officials should be interested in and working on constantly. Along this line and in regard to our town fire department, did you think of approaching this issue with the view of how can we improve our department and service to our citizens through this department? Or did you come with a predetermined agenda to shut down a very viable asset of our community for the possible benefit of others? At this point, you cannot tell us if our fire insurance premiums will increase or not, but they could. You think you can contract for less than your current budget cost for this service, and maybe you can today. But we all know that the time will come when that cost will exceed the cost of maintaining your own department. How can we be sure of that fact? Because with your town fire department, you have control of the department, including their budget. When you contract with another agency, your control in every aspect is gone. And no matter how good you may be as a negotiator, you will not control the outcome. All of you need to remember that we are pretty much a community of older workers or retired families. People on Social Security do not have a lot of funds for increased insurance premiums or possibly higher taxes, which could be very likely in our future. Even with the way our town firefighters, I feel, have been treated, I know at least some of those individuals are willing to meet with you to see if issues can be resolved in our department reinstated. With that, I present to you this petition from the citizens asking that you try to make this happen as soon as possible. There's 173 names on the petition. That doesn't sound like a whole lot. But when you look at the number of people that voted in the last two elections, this represents about 35% of the people that voted. One more thought. Please remember that you were elected to serve and not appointed to rule. Thank you.
The only thing I gotta say is Mr. Mullis, I ask you again to compare apples to apples when you talk about calls, and you still haven't done that. I really wish you would look into that to see that the first responders run probably about 200 some odd calls. The Center Rural Fire Department probably runs 100 and something with mutual aid. So how many fire calls did they run in their district, just like with ours? You can also take off probably about 30 calls because they ran with us as mutual aid. So I think we need to get those numbers straight first.
And
that way you know.
Remember, I just got that information on the 20th, so that.
But I asked you that 2 months ago, and I asked you that a month ago.
2 months ago.
Well, it's the same question I've been asking over and over again. So I would just like that to be
But
said.
it's been a pleasure serving everyone in the town, and I look, hopefully for the future.
Thank you, Steve. It's been a pleasure serving with you as well.